Hello, everyone, and welcome to your Christmas Eve spectacular. It is What If Season 3. I am OLED Ed Fries, and I'm joined by my Marvel Talk tag team partner, Andre the Hammer C, as we go ahead and talk about all things What If Season 3. What if Happy Hogan saved Christmas?
If Happy Hogan saved Christmas, it turned out spectacularly.
Oh, so we're going to have this discussion. I didn't ask you about this beforehand, but we're going to have this discussion on right here. My favorite Christmas movie of all time is Die Hard. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I think it all depends on the person. I consider it a Christmas movie. Bruce Willis does not, but it's all subjective. I think Elf is not a Christmas movie. It's an abomination to all of mankind. But I think Die Hard is a Christmas movie. So yeah.
So here's my defining characteristics for what makes something a Christmas movie. It takes place during Christmas, and Christmas is at some point brought up in the movie. Both of those things are check marks for Die Hard.
Yes, I agree.
There are Christmas trees. It's Christmas Eve. Like, all of the Christmassy factors are there for Die Hard.
They're at a Christmas party.
Yeah, like, it all just kind of works. Mm-hmm. He's coming home to visit a friend for Christmas, which in turn makes it a Christmas movie. Let us know in the comments your thoughts on whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I'm excited to see the comment sections for today's episode. That being said, the reason why we bring up a lot of Die Hard here is because What If Happy Hogan Saved Christmas is essentially what if John McClane was Happy Hogan.
Yeah, so good.
There are so many John McClane moments in this episode. And by the way, I love my thumbnail. We've got annoyed Tony Stark on the right. We've got Happy Hogan in his literal John McClane moment, climbing through an air duct with a walkie-talkie, trying to get the bad guys.
But he wasn't.
There's no more John McClane moment than I don't know what is.
Oh, Jesus, I love this episode so much. And Darcy, with some of the one-liners that she has in this, were absolute perfection.
By the way, the cast that they've been assembling this year for What If Season 2 is like Ross Marquand is back again. We've got Mick Wingert back again as Iron Man, because for those that don't know, Tony Stark is always portrayed by Mark Wingert in animated form. I don't think there's been an animated Iron Man that isn't Mark Wingert that I can remember. That might be the Lego ones are the only ones I don't know. But I know in recent memory, most Iron Men are Mick Wingert. He is a very good Robert Downey Jr. Esque Iron Man impersonator.
Yep.
Ross Marquand is the man of 1,000 different voices. For those that don't know other things he's done in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he was Red Skull in everything except Captain America and the First Avenger. Any other time you see or hear Red Skull, other than the original movie, it is always Ross Marquand.
Even the portrayal in Endgame.
Yep. Yeah. Also, bringing back Sam Rockwell as Justin Hammer. Bringing back Jon Favreau as Happy Hogan. Bringing back Kat Dennings, the newly married Kat Dennings. Congratulations to her and her husband. I know, sad faces for me and Andre. Happy days for Kat. Bringing her back as Darcy Lewis is fantastic. Lake Bell coming back to play Natasha Romanoff again after playing Natasha Romanoff in the animated shows in season 1. Also playing her own individual role in Wakanda Forever. Obviously bringing in somebody else to play Captain America, because that was not Chris Evans
playing Captain
America. What's that?
Josh Keaton. Yeah.
Josh Keaton? Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep. And then, of course, the other Avengers are all themselves. Chris Hemsworth's back again for a second straight episode as Thor. Got Hawkeye as Jeremy Renner. We've got what's his name? Mark Ruffalo coming back to play Bruce Banner.
Yeah, and only Bruce Banner.
Yeah, no Hulk. No, he was not the Hulk in this episode. We'll get to that in a minute. Maria Hill being played by Colby Smuthers. Just fantastic. Yeah. But let's talk about the star of the show. And no, ironically enough, it's not Happy Hogan and Jon Favreau. As much as I wanted it to be the star of the show to be them, it is our villain of the piece. It is the return of my favorite Marvel character in the entire MCU. It is the return of Justin Hammer out of prison. So this scene is taking place. Now, depending who you listen to, it takes place in one of two places. Either directly before Age of Ultron or shortly after Age of Ultron.
Yeah, I put it in that Ultron window because of the centuries. That's the main
problem
reason
is
I would
Emergency Awesome claims it's afterwards, but the problem is there's a mention of the Sokovian unit, which wouldn't be mentioned if Sokovia had been destroyed.
Yeah, I feel like it's
in Age of Ultron.
I feel like it's pre-Ultron.
I feel like it's just before Ultron. Mm-hmm. We also have Jarvis taking a rest, which is nice. So we have no Paul Bettany in this episode, sadly. They ran out of budget, man.
Oh yeah.
They blew their wad on this episode. They ran out of budget on this episode. Mm-hmm. But it's a wonderful Christmas episode. But again, Sam Rockwell being the dancing, happy, arrogant, delightful, pain in the ass villain that he always is. Because the best part about him is he's a villain in name only. Because he's so fucking inept in everything he does. But he is such a delight to have on screen. And he's the perfect foil for a Tony Stark, ideal. Like, a Tony Stark ideal is perfectly led to have this inept asshole always being there. Mm-hmm. But no, it starts with the Watcher basically reciting the 12 Days of Christmas, sort of, kind of. We get a Michael Cicchino Christmas version of the Marvel Cinematic opening.
It was really good.
Yeah,
it was really good. Like, it was really weird that this didn't come out on Christmas, which is weird. Yeah, but okay.
Yeah, I really thought this was going to be the Christmas Day episode, and when it wasn't, I guess their theme is it's the Christmas party, so it's right before Christmas.
That makes sense. It does actually make more sense.
We know that Happy Hogan's trying to get the party going. Maria Hill gives us the timeline by saying it's been a really tough year, and we're just trying to bounce back, and people need a reason to celebrate. Which is why we put it in that Ultron window. We have the Iron Unit, the Iron Legion, and we have that it's been a tough year.
Well, everything leading up to Age of Ultron, a lot of shit has happened in the MCU to really take some people down spiritually. So it makes sense.
Yeah. They shut Jarvis down, and so they're using walkie-talkies to figure it out. You've got all of the Avengers doing various holiday shenanigans. Tony Stark is the most annoyed Santa. And he's more annoyed that all of the mothers are pawing over Captain America in the background as an elf.
So good.
Especially really creepily, the one that's on his leg and curled up into his chest with her hands around the bottom of his leg like a child. Interesting choice of animation, but you go Marvel, it's fine. You have Hawkeye and the Hulk, Bruce Banner, trying to get the last Iron Man toy while there's a whole shelf of Hawkeye toys.
And he's just holding it above all these children trying to grab for the Iron Man toy, and all I can think of is Arnold Schwarzenegger
in Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way.
Yep.
Toy.
And the best part is you have Mark Ruffalo talking about how the sun's real low. The sun's as fucking low as it can get this winter solstice. Oh, just so many beautiful callbacks and stuff. Again, this episode, nothing happens. Nothing of importance happens in this entire episode. This is just pure Marvel fun for 30 minutes. And again, if you don't like Die Hard, you're probably not going to love this episode. But it's a whole bunch of fun. He comes in, he wants to steal Hulk blood, is what Justin Hammer's after. Now, mind you, the armory's right there with all of the Iron Man suits. But no, he wants Hulk blood.
Well, he already failed at suits. He knows he's screwed there. So he knows he has to go with something else.
Ironically, he succeeds in taking over the Iron Legion in the snap of a finger, which is really funny, while telling the story of A Christmas Story as his own, which again is so Justin Hammer.
So unoriginal, but so awesome. Oh, jeez.
He then continues to go and he's trying to get this Hulk blood. And so Happy starts calling the Avengers because he knows better and he knows that he can't do anything. So let's call in the big guns. He calls Tony, but Tony's busy working as Santa Claus at a mall. Captain America is busy being pawed over by moms. The other Avengers are stuck, trying to make sure that Hawkeye gets the Iron Man gift for his kids. Bruce Banner just wants to get the hell out of there.
Natasha's fighting some other spy.
Yes, and randomly Natasha's working. She's at a performance of the Nutcracker, but she's above the stage on the rafters of the actual stage with the lighting.
And she's in costume.
She's
in costume.
Just utterly fantastic. Again, nothing great, just utter fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Darcy's been sent out for maraschino cherries to go with hot toddies, which, by the way, contain no trace of a cherry in any way, shape, or form. Only lemon is the only fruit that you will find in a hot toddy.
No idea.
He just wanted a reason to get rid of her because she called him Puffin 2 as the call signs. And when he asked why not Puffin 1, apparently one of the accounting guys got it. Which is just fantastic. And so all kinds of funny, hapless stuff happens, including Happy trying to take the serum to get the serum away from Justin Hammer and being so clumsy that he stabs himself with the needle containing the Hulk blood and gets himself a Hulk foot.
Oh my god, his leg blows up and I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, it was so good.
And for those of you who are wondering, how is this like Die Hard? He now has bare foot on one foot, and has to slowly lurch around the building, like John McClane did when he was in his bare feet in the movie Die Hard. Like, I haven't been able to give you a ton of references for everything else because they all haven't been my movies. Die Hard's one of my movies. We have Happy when he's trying to get away from Justin Hammer. He jumps from the elevator to an elevator shaft, and he almost falls out, and then he starts crawling. And like I said, on the thumbnail,
right in the jingle. He says right in the jingle bells.
Yep.
He smashes his crotch when he jumps.
But right here, this is an exact shot-for-shot replica of John McClane, played by Bruce Willis, going ahead and climbing out of. It
won't even be the last homage to Bruce Willis doing something in it either.
No, because later on, when he's trying to get away, he also grabs some in the fabricator room. He grabs some what is it?
Fabric? I don't know what
Yeah,
it was.
no, but it's a specific type of fabric. It's the stretchy stuff that wrestlers have.
Oh, spandex.
Spandex. He grabs a roll of spandex and he uses it like John McClane uses the fire hose to go outside the building and crash through a different room. Again.
Which sets off more of his Hulk transformation or freak transformation. Oh my god.
The best part is as this happens and all these hapless things happen to Happy, he continues to Hulk out even more, body part by body part, until he is completely purple Hulk. Or, as one of the writers from Collider put it, he was Purple Piccolo.
You just missing the ears, man. Missing the ears.
We then get to the point of what they're going to try to do to fix this. They're going to try to send Darcy to the bottom basement, to the sub-basement, where there's a way to restart Jarvis. But she has to get a different version of Jarvis because she needs a backup disc, essentially. And she starts going through the different versions that are there. There's a version of Friday.
Mm-hmm.
There is a version of Edith. Now, mind you, Edith was the same name. It is Even Dead, I'm Still the Hero. I'm the hero. Even Dead, I'm the hero. Which is the same thing that will eventually, in the MCU, be put into the glasses that were given to Spider-Man in Spider-Man Far From Home.
Far From Home, yeah.
Yeah. Which is just fantastic that Tony already had that system up and running this far back.
Mm.
They go through a couple other names, and she grabs Warner. When she eventually gets Warner working, we get Ross Marquand doing a valiant effort to be Werner Herzog.
Yep.
Whom I don't know. I don't know the reference. So if you do, Andrea, it would be lovely to just drop it in.
It's literally he's a German filmmaker. That's who it is. It's a German filmmaker. Really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He is the most depressed individual. And basically, he's the anti-Jarvis. He's going to be of no help to anyone.
Look, you've heard Werner Herzog and stuff, because he's this really depressed German dude. He will talk so slowly. He's been in so much shit. But when I heard the voice, I was like, wait, did they actually get Werner Herzog to do this? But then this is not. But it was just like, holy shit. I was just like, I was so excited when I heard it. I'm like, okay, at least he's doing a great job at it, right? So, yeah.
And then we get to the finale of this. We have fully hulked out Happy fighting against, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, Iron Buster, the Hulk Buster Iron Man version of Justin Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Hammer in the Hulk Buster armor, fighting against hulked out Happy. And then the Avengers finally show up in the exact same splash page as we see at the very beginning of Age of Ultron.
Mm.
With all of them coming in and doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're all in like Tony's like in his suit, but like Cap's still in his elf costume, Natasha's still in her Nutcracker outfit. Oh my god, I was laughing so hard.
And they start beating up on Happy because they think the Hulk thing is the villain and the Hulk Buster is the good guy.
Well, they're probably assuming Happy's in the Hulk Buster and that this is some freak. Yeah, literally the freak.
Yeah, it is literally the freak. For those that don't know, the freak is a version of Happy Hogan that takes place in an odd Iron Man story where Happy Hogan essentially becomes a version of the Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
He has this Hulk form. And according to internet rumor and innuendo, apparently this episode in particular, with an episode of What If being devoted specifically to Happy Hogan and to be specifically involving the freak character of his lineage, was what got Happy Hogan to come back to work with Marvel. Again, Jon Favreau is on very good terms with Marvel. He's on very good terms with Disney. As we know, he and Dave Filoni are running the Star Wars empire. They are the Feige's of the Star Wars empire. So there's no reason to assume he's on ill will, but he's very busy doing all of that Star Wars stuff for Disney. So needless to say, to convince him to come do things for Marvel probably takes a bit more effort than it does money, is what I'm trying to say.
But yeah, and just to that point of the start, they've been so involved. Werner Herzog's in the first season of Mandalorian, so that's probably why they got Mark One to do the voice reenactment. It's probably a tribute to his character in the first season of Mandalorian. That's probably what it was.
Oh, was Werner Herzog the guy who gives the bounty? Originally gives, like, when the Mando goes to get the bounty in the beginning to get the child. That's Werner Herzog, the older white guy who has the tin, the big, huge, massive tin of Mandalorian steel.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's Werner Herzog. I love that they pay tribute to him, though. It just still gets me, man. It's just so great.
But again, everything comes down that they eventually figure out that Happy Hogan is Happy Hogan, and they go ahead and start working on taking care of Justin Hammer, which only takes the push of a button from Tony Stark to make all of the Iron Man armor fall apart. And then in true Gruber style, Hammer is kicked out of the window accidentally, essentially, by Darcy Lewis, and he falls to his death, Gruber style, out the window. Ah!
So good. Oh.
So here's my thing. Here's my thing on this. Like, it's and then at the very end, Chris Hemsworth shows up and he's like, "And a Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night," and nobody's there. He's like, "Where is everybody?" And really, that's the episode. Yeah. Nothing exceptional happens. Nothing really fun. Like, it's just a bunch of fun. There's nothing substantial to talk about.
Yeah, for me, this whole episode is based on 3 performances in just insanely charming aspects in Jon Favreau, Sam Rockwell, and Kat Dennings. Yeah, absolutely. I think everything hinges on the 3, and they all do such a good job. There's a spot where Kat Dennings or Darcy's talking with Happy Hogan, and they're referencing Die Hard, but she keeps referencing non-Die Hard movies, and then she's
trying to think of Die Hard, and she's like Point Blank or what are the other movies that she references?
And then she says, "I'll be your Reginald Val Johnson." He says, "That's what you remember." Like, she says, "I'll be your Reginald Val Johnson." When I heard her say Reginald Val Johnson, I was like, "Oh yes, God, yes." Like, just the little, like, all the quips and the funny, even Hammer in all his soliloquies and his monologuing in this was just absolute perfection. And then Favreau just doing being a bumbling John McClane, which is so much perfection that it just, those 3 characters sold this, man.
Absolutely. Like I said, I love this episode. It's not ultra exciting. It's not ultra interesting. It is a lot of fun, which is all What If is supposed to be, by the way. Like, we got spoiled in season 1 with a story that kind of made sense, and they were episodes that all kind of, at the end, you saw how they all tied together. Mm-hmm. This season is a bit of a jumbled mess, but the one thing I can say about them is Andre will disagree with me, all 3 of them for me have been fun. I've enjoyed spending my 30 minutes watching them. I haven't felt like I've wasted my time watching any of them.
Like, I don't think I wasted my time watching the first episode. I have no desire to watch it again. It's just that second one was so good, and this one was just a fun romp. And it's exactly what If was created for in the comic book world. It was it's one-off little things. What would have happened? And this is exactly what you want what I expected from this series in the first place, and what I'm really enjoying about this series now is that everything's its own self-contained little story.
Yeah, and it's great. Like I said, I think we got a little spoiled in season 1, where everything kind of was dovetailing into something. And a lot of season 2 feels like a lot of just, like you say, self-contained stories. However, I will say, somebody who I greatly trust, and Andre, I sent this to you earlier, but I know you've been busy all day. I don't know if you've been able to see it. Cory Jandreau, fantastic comics person, adores his comics, part of the Real Rejects team who reviews a lot of things. Does a lot of panels with Marvel when Comic-Con comes around and anything in California happens. If you want to go follow him on Twitter, Cory Jandreau, CoyJandreau. Fantastic guy. I love him. He gives a lot of context to a lot of the things that we see in the MCU back to comic book things because he's a huge lover of the comics. But he tweeted this today. In case you were worried, the 1602 What If episode is, and then in all caps, everything.
Yeah.
Love What If Season 2. Which gives me hope. Because that means that he too was having some ups and downs, most likely, about what's going on. And he says that 1602 episode, which I've pointed out is one of my, like, when I saw the list of episodes, 1602 was at the top of my list as I have to see this. This sounds like I would have preferred a show as opposed to just a one-off episode.
Again, there was an episode last season, Zombies, that's led to a eventual TV show. Maybe this could get what you want. Can't do that.
It's supposed to be really going to a TV show. Until we get confirmation of a release date on it, I'm less and less concerned that this is actually ever going to happen. That being said, like I said, these are quick episodes. We want to thank you for spending some of your Christmas Eve or your Christmas with us. And if you don't celebrate, enjoy the season, enjoy the winter. Go ahead and enjoy some time off. Enjoy your long weekend. Have a good time. Spend time with friends. Spend time with family. Whatever you do, spend time doing something you love. Because that's what you do this time of year. You spend it with either people you love or things that you love. I get to do both. I get to spend some time with some family. And every day I get a brand new Marvel episode to be able to go ahead and talk about with my fan Andre C. Remember, tomorrow, Christmas Day, there will be an episode up here on the YouTube channel, whether it's just me, whether it's just Andre, whether it's the two of us again, if we can find the time. What if Iron Man crashed into the Grandmaster? Will be taking place tomorrow. Seems like a lot of fun. And again, we went over them yesterday, but there's a whole lot of fun episodes coming up. What if Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper? What if Kiori reshaped the world? What if Hela finds the 10 rings? What if the Avengers assembled in 1602? What if Strange Supreme intervened? Lots of fun to be had. Andre, tell the good people what you've got coming up and where we can find you.
Yeah, lots of great stuff coming up. You can find me on Twitter at that Canada Guy, Instagram at that Canada Dude, either one of those on a bunch of other services. You can find me. We're running a little bit of a hiatus at Andre Melville Wrestling Talk right now. Taking a little break before we head back into a very busy end of December and start of January. You can check me out at Andre Melville Wrestling Talk on YouTube, where we talk New Japan Pro Wrestling, Stardom, and the local Edmonton independent wrestling scene. Coming up at the end of the year, we're going to have our Stardom Dream Queendom review on Stardom Review. We're going to have a very special interview with New Japan Pro Wrestling English commentator Walker Stewart coming out on January 1st. We are tentatively scheduled to record on the 31st, so hopefully that'll be out on the 1st. We'll have it out before Wrestle Kingdom because we're going to preview it with him. We're going to talk about New Japan and Japanese wrestling in general. Looking very much forward to that. I got my Wrestle Kingdom show coming out probably on the 4th or 5th of January, so lots of great content coming there. You can also find us. Our big shows will also be simulcast on SNME Radio in audio form. You can check us out over there. All the big shows will be going there. Our Dream Queendom review, the interview with Walker Stewart, and our Wrestle Kingdom review will all be there. So check that out.
I know you're probably going to ask this question, but for me, if I can ask you to ask Walker a question, I want you to ask him about President Ace.
President? Oh no, we're going to talk about the new president of New Japan.
Named President of New Japan. It's President Go Ace. I need to understand the thoughts of some of the people around involved in New Japan World. Like, granted, he's involved in New Japan World, less involved with the interworkings of New Japan.
Oh no,
he does things, but
We're gonna talk about it. Trust me, we're gonna talk about it.
Okay, like I said, you know better than me to ask certain questions, but I'm like, you have to ask him about Go Ace, right?
Yes. Oh, and more coming out of mine and Mel's channel. We're gonna have our best of shows coming out in January. We're gonna do one big best of, talk some Stardom, talk some New Japan, and a little bit of Edmonton independent wrestling.
Yeah. You can, of course, find me at EdFries12584 on Twitter. You can find me every Tuesday night with the lovely Asher Bazaar as we talk all things NXT. We've got one more taped episode of NXT this Tuesday, and then not this upcoming Tuesday, the day after Christmas, but the next week we've got our big New Year's Evil show, where we've got both main titles supposedly being defended as Ilya Dragunov is supposed to defend against Trick Williams. Whoop that trick. And, of course, we've got Blair Davenport going ahead and taking on Lyra Valkyria with Tegan Knox. Not Tegan Knox. What is her name? Tatum Paxley running around, following her around. So we got all kinds of good stuff headed up for that show. Tiffany Stratton versus Fallon Henley's been signed for that show. All kinds of good stuff headed up that way. And, of course, like I said, every day for the next couple days until the 30th, you can catch me and Andre or me or Andre here as we go ahead and review all the what-ifs. In the new year, we've got a Marvel MCU rebound of The Incredible Hulk coming out. In January, we're going to have all the episodes detailing Echo. We're going to have a review of all 6 episodes of Echo that are releasing all on one day, and Andre and I are still trying to figure out if it's individual episodes or one big review. We'll figure that out as we go. But, of course, keep it locked here on our local establishment for all of this content. But until the next time, we'll see you later. Goodbye.